Hey folks, welcome back to Return of the Obra Dinn, where we are attempting to determine the fates of all those who died or absconded from the ship, or were otherwise settled. When we left off, we had gotten into chapter 4, and we're starting with the death of Nichols here, who we're pretty sure we have figured out, and we want to make our way back to the beginning of chapter 4. But before we do that, let's switch up the monitor. Let's go with the LCD here. And I guess if we take a look at the ship and the events, we're currently here at the calling part 6. We'd like to get all the way back to the calling part 1. And to do that, we have to navigate backwards in time through the corpses. So let's start here. Calling part 5. And then this should be the calling part 4. Yep, okay. And then maybe, is this the calling part 3? Let's just keep part 2 is fine. I want to get to part 1.
Keep rowing!
Where is it?
That's going to be here. All right, so here's the start of chapter 4. Part 1 of 6.
Keep course due east. You'll reach the Canaries in 3 days. You packed enough stores?
Aye, sir. Checked and loaded them myself.
Good. Stay quiet and alert. If the wind picks up, we've no chance against the Obra Dinn.
休假，你玩抓不？
我冇问题，但是伊来想啊，绝对袂当互伊落在水底。
那是遐个怪物出现，你绝对卖起来。
Aye, shut it up.
This is strange things about monsters.
Okay, so I think the guy who was killed must speak Chinese, because he seems to have understood what was happening. So we have some folks on here identified. All right, so he's a topman, perhaps? Speared by a terrible beast. In terms of topman, there were 4 from China, 1 from Persia, but I think he would speak Arabic, not Chinese. Yeah, so he should be one of these 4, but I don't know how we determine it. Theoretically, we have 4 memories, and he's very hard to deduce, so we should leave him for later, perhaps. Okay. Who else do we have in here? Who are you? Yes, you're the Formosan. Or one of the Formosans. You were a seaman. We don't know how to deal with you. I think you're one of the ones who disappeared in the fight, right? So if I go to the end of chapter 4... Yeah, you met an unknown fate. So I'm guessing... If you weren't, I guess if you weren't killed, maybe you were drowned. If you weren't killed by the monsters, maybe you drowned, maybe you fell overboard? This person who was responding, I sir, checked and loaded him myself. He had an accent of sorts. We had the 2 Formosans talking to each other. And then, yeah, the guy who died was one of the Chinese topmen, but we're not sure which one. I'm not sure what else we can deduce from this right now. We know about Nichols. This guy with the pipe we've seen before. Is he one of the ones who died? Or who has an unknown fate? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he was one of the seamen with a gun. If we check again, is that who we're looking at? Yeah. Alright, so he was one of the shooters. Not sure which seaman he is. As for you, you're another one of the shooters. We know 2 of the 4. But it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell, for sure. I mean, you were definitely speared by a beast. Don't really have a good beat on how to deduce who these people were. This is Patrick O'Hagan. I think I need to listen to it again, listen to the voice, and try to determine the accent. So we can leave from here, and then do I have to cycle back through to hear it again? It's kind of annoying. Okay, so we go from there over to this guy. And that should be number 1, I think. Yeah, okay, let's listen to this again.
Keep course due east. You'll reach the Canaries in 3 days. You packed enough stores?
Aye, sir. Checked and loaded them myself.
Good. Stay quiet and alert.
Checked and loaded them myself.
We've no chance against the Obra Dinn.
休假，你完全
Checked and loaded them myself.
我冇问题，但是伊来
I don't know, that's borderline to me. Scottish, Irish, English? Maybe Irish.
Aye, shut it up.
They say strange things about monsters.
So, the person who checked and loaded it himself must be one of these two, because he was speaking directly to Nichols, whose fate we know. So, is there anybody who's not? I guess he could be speaking to. He could have been speaking to O'Hagan. Yeah, who's Irish. Right? Yeah. This isn't confirmed for some reason. I think this boat has some stores in it. But so does this boat. These two are rowing, so I think he was speaking to O'Hagan, and then the unknown Chinese topman said, like, translated what they were talking about and got speared. I don't think there's anything else I can get from this particular event. Not right now, anyway. I mean, we could try to see. I'm thinking like we could try to see who was talking to him or O'Hagan of these seamen later and maybe get context clues from that, but yeah, not a lot. So now we'd like to look at number 2. Which might be this guy?
我推牛啊！
This is 3. So someone died before him. Not that guy. That's number 1. It's got to be this one.
Sir, shoot them for God's sake!
Okay, here's part 2 of 6. So the Chinese topman, the translator, died.
Keep rowing!
伊没过来啊！别这样。
Where is it?
There, something there.
I see it!
Give us a weapon.
休假，卖起来！
Pick up the oars and row, you fools!
Right, there was a gunshot in there. Nichols was trying to shoot. Yeah, I think he shot this one. If we take a look at this. Oh, one of them was Russian. That is a hint. Okay. The guy who died said, give us a weapon. That's English, I think. Mother of God in Russian. Keep rowing. This was Nichols. Miss Lim says, they are here. Bang, the chest. Someone says, where is it? There's something there. I see it. The guy who died said, give us a weapon. Bang says, Miss Lim, stay down. Nichols says, pick up the oars and row, you fools. He did shoot in there somewhere. So the guy who died was not the Russian. This guy definitely speared by a terrible beast. I think we call these things beasts. I feel like that's right. And he did get speared. This guy might be the one who said Mother of God, perhaps. Maybe? Are you Russian? We've seen the Russians before. I don't think this is the group. We know the Russians from the card table. I think we might be able to figure out one of these seamen's identities if we can go take another look at who the Russians are. Because it's one of these three men is a Russian seaman. Not that, no, one of those two men. Either him or he. Oh, this guy has a pipe? Hmm. I think this guy might be Russian. A Russian seaman, so either Alarkus or Alexei, perhaps? I'm not sure how we tell. Now, if we look at what's happening to him, he is not dead right now. It looks like he's being dragged off the ship. He dropped his knife. So he's being dragged off the ship. He might be someone whose fate is unknown at the moment. I think so, right? Let's check the book. Let's go to the end of the chapter. Yeah, one of these guys was Russian. And I think two wayward souls disappeared during the events of this chapter. Their fates are cataloged here. So this guy definitely... he was pulled off the boat by that creature, but I don't know how we describe that. Axed, burned, clawed. I mean, if we look, I mean, she's dragging her claws across his chest, but I don't think that's a deep enough wound to kill him. I don't think you would call him clawed. Maybe drowned? Eaten? I don't know about eaten. Electrocuted, fell, froze. Poison shot, speared, spiked, strangled, struck. I think drowned is the most likely. Drowned by a terrible beast? Maybe? That guy already died last time. That's O'Hagan? Yeah. Then we have Nichols. The guy who died. He was probably English, I think. Give us a weapon, right? So we think he's a seaman. He might be Alexander Booth or George Shirley. He was definitely a seaman, so he's got to be one of these two. Either Alexander Booth or George Shirley. I don't know how we would know. Except by process of elimination. So we could guess, but... it's not Nathan Peters. I'm not sure how we would know. But we can try and remember to come back to that. I mean... And then either that guy's Russian or this guy's Russian. I guess we should look for the pipe or... we should look for this guy at the table, the card game, maybe? Or look for that guy at the card game. I'm not sure how that helps us. Well, we've got some ideas, but it's like we're not quite where we need to be. All right. So this was number 2. Let's see if we can figure out where number 3 is, or part 3. All right, this is part 4. So you were 1. I think you were 2 or 3. I can't remember. We just watched this guy die. We're trying to figure out his identity. So maybe it's this one? I can't quite remember. Yeah. So Ben is putting his hand into the coals to do something magical. He's using the shell's power or something. All right, we're looking for part 3 here. I'm gonna try this guy. All right, part 3 of 6.
O'Hagan, Turkish. You still breathing? Can you row?
Nichols, sir, shoot them for God's sake!
Okay. So this guy had already died. This was a Chinese topman who was translating. He was the first to go, right? Then the guy got pulled overboard and drowned, I guess, or something. Somebody over here was calling to O'Hagan, who's grappling with Ben. So it's not Nichols. It's not this guy, because he died to a spear. So whoever you are, I think we can see something wrapped around his arm that was pulling him in. So Pipe Man, I think, is the one who died here. Well, no. O'Hagan might have... Was he killed by Ben? Or no, maybe... I'm not sure. Speared by a terrible beast? That might be wrong. Although, I don't know. If we look at the guy who died said, O'Hagan, you still breathing? Can you row? Lim called for help. Nichols, sir, shoot them for God's sake. And then he's not on screen, as far as I can tell. If he was in this boat, demanding, perhaps... Well, I'm not sure. Maybe he was calling across the water. Maybe it was this guy. It looks like he's being dragged down to drown, I would think. I mean, I think we have to say this guy drowned by a terrible beast. That's the best I can do. All right, let's leave and move on to number 4, part 4. Yeah. So this is where Ben dies. Because he this is where he burns himself. Not quite clear why he's reaching through the coals or whatever. Because well, I don't know where the shell is. I guess he grabbed the shell and put it back in, maybe? I'm not sure. And then the flames came out and killed the sirens or the mermaids. So maybe that chest is some sort of altar, and if you place the shell in it, it protects itself, it kills the mer creatures or whatever. That guy's the Chinese topman who died to a spear. Is this O'Hagan? Ah, yes. Ben killed him. Knifed him. So he wasn't speared by a terrible beast. He was knifed by Ben. Or Bang. Yeah. Ben killed him to get over here. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, look, he's got a knife in him. I don't know why I thought he was speared. Or spiked? Is that... I'm pretty sure that's a knife. Yeah, that's a knife. So Bang killed him for sure. Lim was dead. Nichols is cowering. This rower was speared, I think. Speared by a terrible beast. And then the other two were dragged off and drowned, I think. I think that's right. Okay, we've updated one fate. All right, so here's part 5. Yeah, Miss Lim died. So Bang sacrificed himself to put the shell back in the altar, which killed off the merbeasts, or stunned them, I guess, since they ended up fighting back later. Nichols is pulling their bodies in because of whatever value they might have. Yeah, your death is confirmed. Your death is confirmed. What else is going on here? The shell is now right there inside this boat, along with another dead beastie and Lim's body. Have we confirmed her death? Yes, clawed by a terrible beast. And that's everything we can get from this scene, so let's leave and just revisit Nichols' death real quick. Part 6 of 6.
Ahoy!
Hell back!
Captain! Ahoy! Wait! Don't shoot! I have treasure! I yield! Hold your fire!
Right, so there were a lot of folks on deck calling answers, calling down. We're not quite sure who they are. We have... That's Bang. The other boat had Lim and the shell and the bodies of the beasties. Nichols was shot by this guy. Chio Tan? Yeah, okay. And then somebody else is onlooking. Somebody's watching from in here. Who are you? The fourth mate, John Davies. Clubbed by Henry Brennan. I'm not sure what else we can get from this either. The altar with the well, hold on. Why is the shell... The shell's not in the altar, right? No, the shell's right there. The magic shell. So he did something with the altar that summoned magic to kill off the beasties, but it wasn't powered by the shell. Very odd, very strange. Okay, let's get out of here. I don't think there's anything else to gather here. But like the more pieces we put together, like we gotta find bits and pieces of information in other places. Because we gotta do process of elimination for a lot of these folks who we have some idea who they are, but there's like 2 or 3 or 4 people they could be. So we gotta keep going through and seeing what we can learn and eliminating people. And that's really all I can think to do at this point. So now we need to get to chapter 5, Unholy Captives. Where we have confirmed that both of these individuals were killed, but I want to watch it again. So... Hold on. Part 1. Directly behind me, it looks like. It's this corpse or these corpses? Part 1 of 4, Unholy Captives. Okay.
Lift this out and take it below.
What the hell is going on? What do you know about these things? About the chest and your dead friends?
这是虾米？回来，全部供出来。
拢是恁害啦！迄个害得较对人无顾好，是人稳死的啊！
He talk about a shell. Very dangerous.
Shell? What shell?
Right, okay, so... Nichols was shot. And if we look at this, lift this out and take it below, they're probably talking about the chest. The captain demands to know, what the hell is going on? What do you know about these things? About the chest and your dead friends? Who is he interrogating here? Is this the other guard? Oh, this is Chio Tan who shot Nichols. Okay. So another person who speaks Chinese, not the one who died out in the boats, says, what are these monsters? Where are they from? You must tell us everything. And Chio Tan says, this is your fault. The shell must be protected. We will all die. The translator says, he talked about a shell, very dangerous. Shell, what shell? And then this thing, which they thought was dead, but was, I guess, only stunned, sends spikes out from its tail, flips spikes at people. This guy just barely dodges out of the way here. Who's this again? The bosun? He was still alive at this point. Don't know who you are. Had some guys working the capstan here. He gets crushed later. Like, there's very few clues to people's identities. I mean, these guys are not officers, clearly, because they're working the capstan, which is grunt work. This is the first mate, right? Yeah, he's onlooking. Who are you? You're an old dude. I haven't seen you before. John Naples? Yeah, your death is confirmed. Okay. And then... You're a mate, I think? Yeah, the third mate, Martin Perrette. Don't know how you died. Unknown. Hard to tell who or what they are. I mean, they're obviously not officers. I think this is the surgeon? Right? Looking at the bodies? Then we got the 3 bodies. Who are you? And why do you have... Oh, you're the surgeon's mate, right? Yes, okay. I was gonna say, why do you have a, like, surgery bag or whatever? So we got the captain here interrogating somebody who speaks Chinese. Or interrogating the Formosan. This guy holding him... We know his fate, that's Hamadou. I think he was spiked through at the same time. Yeah, I think he was spiked through at the same time as Chio Tan here. And then this guy is another one of these Chinese topmen, of whom there are like 4 that we can't really identify. I don't see, like, it's good to revisit the story and make sure we understand as much as we can given the data we've accumulated since the last time we were here. But I don't see much in the way of clues here at the moment. I don't see much in the way of new information, so let's dip out of this memory and go to another one. See if we can learn something. Alright, so... Chapter 5 starts there, then goes down here on the gun deck near the 4. Okay. So we need to get down to the gun deck over here. And then there's a body around here. Yeah. Unholy Captives Part 2. Let's watch this.
Clear the deck. Move the boat to stern and throw the bodies over.
What's your footing?
Howdy there, what's this? Give him to me and I can fry us a solid meal, boys.
Heaven now. Take it slow.
What's it, gentlemen? There's a pretty shell here. Let's have a look.
No, get back.
Yeah, we remember this. So a lot of folks were up and about. Hard to tell who's who. Who are you? Captain Steward? I think we guessed about that. Might be right. I can't remember. Unknown midshipman. Another midshipman. Yeah, these guys with the jackets and the scarves are midshipmen. So we've got some seamen carrying down the thing. The cook comes over. We already know about this guy's fate. We've already confirmed it. Yeah, struck dead by a beast's tail. Which does confirm that these mermaids or whatever are beasts in the game's parlance. Now you having that napkin over your arm, that makes you look like a steward. Who are you? I think we guessed he was a seaman. But that thing over his arm makes him definitely look like a steward. So he could be one of the mate stewards here. Or not the ship steward. Yeah, he might be one of these three. Samuel Galligan, Roderick Anderson, or Davy James. Maybe? Can I... Unknown steward. I think that's the clue that we're getting from that thing over his arm. So maybe this is an unknown steward as well. He's wearing the exact same uniform. Maybe I misunderstood who he was. You know what? I think we can identify this guy. If this guy's a steward and he's standing next to the fourth mate, then let's identify him for now as the fourth mate steward, Davy James. And then can we tell from where you're standing in the sketch? Can we tell whose mate you might be? You're standing right behind the third mate. So actually, I think it's a good guess that you're the third mate steward. Third mate steward, Roderick Anderson. And we know how he died, so I hope we're right. I guess we're guessing about that. It's hard to tell a little bit from some of what the people are wearing. Like, the midshipman uniform looks similar. Now, you know what? He doesn't have the cravat. He has the black jacket with the single stripe. I think it's the stripe on the arm that signifies their midshipman. These guys have black coats without stripes, so maybe that signifies stewards. Who else is in here? This then would be another steward, right? Yeah, he's a steward. I think he's a steward as well. Which would leave either the ship steward or the second mates. Maybe, well, I guess he'd be the second mate steward. He should be a is he a midshipman? I'm not sure. Where are the midshipmen in this photo? Yeah, we think these three are midshipmen, and I think there's only 3 midshipmen on the boat. If we look at the crew list, yeah, there's only 3 midshipmen. Not sure. It's just so hard to tell. We'd love to get some more bunk numbers going, or other identifying information. There's none of that on the gun deck, though. I do think this cloth over his arm is an indication, though. It's a clue that I'm meant to use to figure out that he's a steward, which means his uniform is the steward's uniform. The ship steward is Indian, so it's not these guys, I don't think. I think they're English. Like, there's a guy with like a turban that I think is maybe who we're thinking of there, although he's shirtless in the photo, so I'm not sure. Seems like a steward would wear clothing all the time, like wouldn't be seen topless on deck, you know? I'm not sure what else I can do here. Let's review. Clear the deck, move the boats astern and throw the bodies over, watch your footing. He says, you know, I can give us a solid meal. Careful now, take it slow. One tech gentleman, there's a pretty shell there. No, get back. Who shouted no, get back? And what role would they have to do so? Oh, I can actually get up here. This is interesting. You had a pistol. You had a gun. Seems like the captain is talking to the mates. You're the third mate. You're the gunner. You have a long gun. Oh no, you're the gunner. Who are you then? No, that's the gunner. So who's this? We don't know who this guy is. Maybe the gunner's mate? Does this gunner have a mate? Yeah, this is probably Olus Wiater, the gunner's mate. I mean, that makes sense to me. Because he's standing next to him, he's behind him here. He's seen with the gunner a lot. So I'm guessing, and he has a pistol. I'm guessing he's the gunner's mate. What's going on? What else is going on over here? You're carrying stuff. Not sure about you. These guys are bringing the chest up, being told to stow it. I don't see any identifying information here. Who are you then? Surgeon's mate? Okay. And this is the surgeon. He's looking, yeah, he's looking at the spikes that they throw from their tails, right? This guy's remonstrating with them. So this is part 2. Part 3 is on the Orlop deck. All right, I think we leave this memory and go for part 3. It's a very challenging game. It's not easy by any stretch. Now, the nice thing about the Orlop deck is we might be able to see some people in their hammocks. Do some eliminations. All right, part 3. Directly in front of us on the Orlop deck. All right, so it's this guy. Right. All right, you're coming out of the carpenter's shop, right? Hold on. Your location and the hammer you're holding are probably a clue. So on the Orlop deck, we're facing here the carpenter's shop. And you're holding a wooden hammer. You're coming out of here to see what's happening. So this guy's probably the carpenter, if we haven't identified him already. Yeah, this is the carpenter, I think. Winston Smith. We may have chosen somebody else for that was wrong. And then you're the carpenter's mate. Marcus Gibbs from America. Feels like we're putting together a number of things that should have been, like, validated by now, verified. You have to be the carpenter. Winston Smith was spiked by a terrible beast. You have to be the carpenter, right? I mean, I guess... Okay, so... Because racism was a thing at the time, I don't really believe that he's the carpenter and he's the mate. I think it has to be the other way around. Like, this guy has to be the boss and he has to be the underling, which it sucks, but that's the way it was. Right? He's holding the hammer. He's holding the saw. I think we've identified them. I'm surprised we haven't gotten a validation from that. Let's see. Who are you? Do we know? The butcher. Okay. You were watching them carry this thing down. Now, the one guy got smacked in the face, and that caused the commotion that caused all these guys to drop this, and then this guy got crushed by falling cargo, but we don't know who he is, unfortunately. Crushed by cargo. His hat is so unique. I don't know who he is, though. Could he be the ship steward? Could he be Omid Gul, the Persian? Maybe. Maybe that makes sense. Because he's the only Persian on the ship, so maybe he's the only one wearing that hat. I think that's a pretty good guess. Let's throw that in. Or deduction, then. Let's call him Omid Gul. Yeah, still no validation, so we're probably wrong on something we've put in. Who are you? Unknown soul met an unknown fate. I mean, you don't have a stripe. You have a scarf or a cravat, but I don't know what that signifies. It looks like a frock coat over long pants. I'm not sure who this is. You're rushing over to help. I can't tell much from your uniform. Oh, you're the artist. You hadn't died yet. Okay. You guys coming out of the carpenter's room. I think that's the main clue I can get there. Deduce who they are. Don't know who this is. The guy with the funny hat might be Omid Gul, maybe? Who else could he be? Is there anyone else? Is there any other kind of country that might have a hat like that? Maybe India? I don't think he's Chinese. Maybe New Guinea? Not Russia. I feel like he's the only one we've ever seen in that hat, so he has to be from somewhere unique. Or he has to be, like, kind of the only guy from his country. So I feel like Persia's right, but it's not being confirmed at the moment. And I can't see much else that we can gather from this scene. So it might be time to leave here and go to the next one. So what are we on? We're on... Unholy Captives. We were on... Part 3, and we're looking for Part 4. So this... We have actually confirmed this? Yeah, but we can watch it again. Location of the corpse was near the lazarette in the cargo hold. Okay. Well, let's exit and go see if we can recreate that memory real quick. It's very difficult. Also, lots of race and nationality stuff, which makes me a little uncomfortable trying to make assumptions about things that I don't really know very much about or understand very well. But I mean, that's the game, right? Is this where we're going? Yeah, okay. Let's watch this. This should be Unholy Captives Part 4.
Keep pressure here.
Hold him down. What madness is this? 20 years my steward, and never a doubt on your sanity. Explain yourself.
Those ungodly beasts carry a curse! Throw them back or doom us all!
Tie him up and put him in the lazarette with those things. He may yet find his senses.
Come on. All's fine, John. Been in worse spots, I think. Where's the rest of his leg?
Yeah. So this man is John Naples, yeah. And F. Dahl killed him with a sword. And we have the surgeon. They're dragging away the captain's steward, Philip Dahl. This individual, where are you coming out of? Bosun's store? Not soldiers of the sea. Unholy captives. We're back by the lazarette. But no, the lazarette is way back there, so we're actually near the front of the ship. He's coming out of the port cabin over here. I don't think we looked at what was going on up here. You were coming out of this door. So if we look at the ship, on the cargo deck, yeah, you were coming out of here, which I guess is the bosun's store? Maybe we already know who you are. Are you the bosun? Yeah, you're the bosun. Okay. This guy, we've seen this guy before, but not been able to identify him. He's got a unique ship. Look, he's got a unique, like, outfit. I wonder if he's someone who is, like, in charge of the lazarette. Is there somebody who would be... No, he must just be an ordinary shipman charged with taking the guy captive, and putting him in the lazarette. The captain's over there, right? Yep. No, that's the first mate. Okay. No bunks here to identify, folks, unfortunately. There may be more in future chapters. So we've got the surgeon and the surgeon's mate. And who else? Who are you? second mate steward, Samuel Galligan. We're not quite sure if that's right or not, but that's what we've guessed for now. And then up here, oh, there's a lot going on up here that we missed the first time around. So, you are the butcher. You are the artist. And you are the gunner's mate, right, we think? And then what's going on up here? Orlop deck. Yeah, alright. Who are you? The third mate. Alright. And these guys are dragging bodies around. You're an unknown who's crushed by a cannon. Not help to identifying you here. That's, Marcus Gibbs, the carpenter's mate. That's the carpenter. So they were getting the body. I guess the carpenter wraps things up, and then these guys are carrying down the altar or whatever. Who are you? Do we have any idea? Nope, no idea who you are. Lars Linda, and then this guy. You know what? I think we can guess now that this is Maba, right? Was that his name? Yeah, Maba. I think this has to be Maba. I don't know that for sure, but we've identified the other guys. This is Hamadou Diam, that's confirmed, and then this black guy was Marcus Gibbs from America. So I think this has to be Maba, unless maybe that's Maba, and this is the Persian guy. I mean, he looks Persian, don't you think? Feels right to me, but we haven't confirmed any of our like hypotheses about fates. I feel like something should have been confirmed by now and hasn't been. But wow. All right. So that's chapter 5. That's all I can do for chapter 5, really. Yeah, unholy captives. We saw all 4. These two, this. For some reason, this hasn't been confirmed. We think this should be confirmed. We don't know who the topman was. What else do we have? We don't have the attacker there. Yeah, so we do have 3. We do have 3 that haven't been confirmed. Marcus Gibbs. So we have the carpenter's mate and 2 others that we think we know who they are, but it's not confirmed. We think this steward might be right. That's 4. We think this might be right. That's 5. So we've definitely we got something wrong on some of those, because if we had 5 that were right, 3 of them would have been confirmed by now. Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to go through the rest of the chapters, and then we're gonna have to go through this a bunch more times and figure some stuff out. When we come back next time, we'll do chapter 6, Soldiers of the Sea, and if we're lucky, we'll get into chapter 7, The Doom, as well. A lot of death in both of these chapters. Perhaps some more clues from bunks and things. I think it's pretty clear I've gotten something wrong. One of my assumptions or deductions has been incorrect, but we'll have to leave that for next time. Until then, as always, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys are enjoying the playthrough. We'll be back with more Return of the Obra Dinn in the next video, and I hope to see you then. Take care.